Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another instalment in the Sydney Railroad build. In the last couple of instalments, I have got most of the upper level of the peninsula framed up. There's still 3 sections to go, a smaller one either side and one much bigger section with the end curve on it. And I'll get those 3 built during this instalment. So let's just head out to the workshop and get to work. After finishing the framing for the paper mill yesterday, I've gone back to the other side of the peninsula. This is the next frame to go in, or as much of it as I can build at the workbench. I've now got to get this installed and then finish it in situ. So let me head over there right now and I'll see you again soon. Well, there is that frame completely finished and properly installed. The only thing missing is some blocking to hold that end piece at the right height. But I'm not going to put that in until I have the frame the other side of the beam installed properly, and then I've got to just line it up, because at the moment it could vary by a 32nd of an inch either way, and I want to get it right. So with that side reaching this point, I now need a short piece in here, same length but a narrow one, and then it'll be the big frame that goes around the end. And that one will actually be more than 8 feet long, so it won't be able to stand on end in the container. What I haven't decided yet is whether I need to build the small one at this side first and then hope that I can make the end piece to match perfectly and get it perfectly plumb over the lower deck, or whether I'm going to build the end frame first, leaving a gap there, and then fill that one in situ. I think I'm leaning towards building the end frame first. So let me get organized on that and I will be right back. This is about as much of that end frame as I can build at the workbench. This corner diagonal will be installed in situ, just in case I need to pull it into position slightly. I don't want to have it rigidly locked out of place. The other end is going to be more or less the same, but I have to extend it because, as I mentioned earlier, it's more than 8 feet. I've got to add a piece to this main stringer. Also, this part of the frame is about 4 inches, stops about 4 inches short of the end of the benchwork, because there will be a thinner cantilever off the edge to support the river. Although this portion of the frame supports all the sub-roadbed for the track. This diagonal across the corners is necessary because it wanted to sit about 1/8 of an inch out of square. One of the diagonals was 1/8 of an inch longer than the other. So this holds it square while the glue sets. Well, I now have this frame permanently installed. I've also got the other end caught up with the first end. Here we can see where I had to lengthen the rear stringer. I've added this bit in the end here. It's clamped at the back because I don't have enough bolts. I've got bolts, I just don't have enough washers. So I've got to go get those next time I'm in town. Actually, come to think of it, this isn't quite caught up. There's still a joist missing across here. So once I've put that in, I've still got to do both of the corner areas and this 4-inch wide cantilever along the front to support the riverbed. So let me just get back to work and I'll talk to you again later. Well, here is the main corner framing done on both sides. Now I've just got to get the curved pieces around the corners. It's going to pretty much mirror what I did on the lower level, so the same as that, except that I've also got to add about a 4-inch cantilever at a lower level. It'll be level with the bottom of the frame, but cut down from the top, and that will support the riverbed around the front. I don't feel like doing it this afternoon. My back hurts, and I've had terrible cramps in my feet all day, so I'm going to go in and take a break, and I will come back out and finish it another day. Not sure if I'm going to do that tomorrow. It's Saturday, and I've got lots of other things I need to take care of. So far this morning, I have closed the gap in this side of the benchwork at the start of the paper mill yard. What I've got to do now, by way of framing on this area, is to add the cantilever around the end for the river. So let me get on with that, and I'll be right back. Well, here is the first of the corners just about done. I haven't attached this piece yet. That was the first piece that I made using my normal method with my curved templates. And then once I had that right, I then drew round it, used that as a template to make this bottom one. The top one is the surface of the river, and the bottom one is there simply to hold the fascia nice and rigid, which is why I wanted cutouts in the back so that I can get my hands in, because I think there are turnout controls in this area. So I want to be able to get my hand in there just in case. I haven't glued this former on the bottom. The framing's glued, but the former is screwed only just in case I need to adjust it. So the next step is to permanently install the riverbed, and then I can move on to the other side and do the same again. So let me do that, and I'll see you later. Well, I was just thinking that maybe I didn't give enough information on how I did the other one. So here is the second one under production. What I've done here is put a piece of 1/2-inch plywood on some temporary blocks which are clamped to the bottom of the frame. Then I've positioned my curved template. This one, 28 inches on the inside. Got it in exactly the right place, plumb above the lower level, and then drew a line, cut it with a jigsaw and sanded the edge. So I'll get rid of this. So this is now the top former that becomes the riverbed, and now I'm going to draw around that and use the next size smaller curved template to draw the inside. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Well, here is the second corner, done exactly the same way as the first. It goes a lot quicker the second time round because I already knew exactly what I was going to do. Now all I need to do is get the cantilever along the end, and I already cut most of the parts of that earlier, so it's mainly a case of just screwing them in place. Here's the framing for the river along the edge, all completed. All I have to do now is cut a strip of 1/2-inch plywood to go across the top and form the surface of the river. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Well, here is the day's task finished. I two-pieced the plywood along here because I had some small offcuts, but I didn't have anything that was big enough to do it in one piece without cutting a full sheet. Anyway, it's still fairly early, but I'm going to go in. I've got plenty to get on with inside. I'm happy with the day's progress. And actually, that is the peninsula fully framed up. The only part of the framing still to do is the piece that goes across this walkway. But I'm going to leave that off for the time being. I want to leave full upright access until I've got all the yard areas fully sheeted. So that will be my next task. Well, that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed the video, found it useful or interesting or both. The next task is to start getting the tops installed, and that will be a task for next week's video. I hope to see you back here for that. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.